26 years ago, May 18th, 1993, is the day it all began, the day I was born. Unfortunately, after all the research that I did, not too many crazy things actually happened on that day. There were some things that were popular on that day that stood out to me a lot more than actually events that happened. But one of the cool events that actually occurred on the day of my birthday, a girl by the name of Jessica Watson was born. Jessica Watson ended up becoming one of the youngest females to ever circumnavigate the southern hemisphere. She did this feat at the age of 16, and she was awarded the Order of Australia. I think she was on sailing for about 210 days roughly, and it endured multiple hardships and things like that. And unfortunately, to my dismay, after conducting a little bit of research, she was not actually related to Emma Watson, one of my favorite actresses, especially as a kid. But even though she may not have been related to one of my favorite actresses, that something else, there are some other things from that time frame that actually still are included in some of my favorites today. Take for example, if I say the name Chester the Cheetah, pretty much everybody knows who that is. It's this guy right here. Especially as a kid, this was one of my favorite snacks of all time. But the significance of this is, during this time frame, one of the most popular games of that time, it was a game called Chester Cheetah and the Wild Wild Quest. This game was pretty simple. It was basically just side-scrolling levels, and that you would actually die if you were not holding a cheese puff in your hand from one hit. So as far as like the gameplay itself, it was pretty simple, but it was one of the most popular games of that time. And it's kind of cool to see how that's progressed over the years. Unfortunately, the reality is nowadays that type of game would not make it on the market, as kids are not really interested in a game based off of the mascot of a snack food, but they would rather play first-person shooter type games where they can mimic idiotic dance moves. Unfortunately, those while that game was pretty cool at the time, it would not do so well nowadays. Now there's a question though that I have to ask you, and are you a freak who doesn't lick their fingers after eating a Cheeto? Now I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, or weird question to ask, but by my next point, what else was popular at that time might make it, make a little bit more sense. The number 2 song in the U.S. on my birthday was "Freak Me" by Silk. Now, if you don't understand the correlation between licking your fingers and that song, then you're probably too young. So, now that I've kind of shown you guys a glimpse into some of the things that occurred or were popular on my birthday, and how they still are somewhat correlated or still popular today, I would love to hear things that you guys happen on your birthday, or events that happen on your birthday that still affect the popularity of things nowadays, or things that happen nowadays. Again, nothing really crazy happened on my birthday, but it's really cool to see how things from my birthday, like this guy right here, Chester Cheetah, is still affecting the world that we live in today.